Organized when I jumped off. Now we got what looks like a wall cloud right in front of me here. Maybe a wall cloud, perhaps maybe a shelf cloud. I'm not a storm chaser, so I'm not real good with what the cloud formations would look like. But from what I can tell, this looks like a wall cloud that has developed right in front of me here. And I'm just north of Bellevue and just west northwest of Bowie. But it looks to me like this is a wall cloud that is showing up here. I've got it on my camera. You can see it. So if you look there, there's a tail cloud, and that would be your inflow into the thunderstorm there. You can see that tail there. And then this is the cooler thunderstorm air wrapping around on the backside of it. We call that the rear flank downdraft. And where those two meet, the condensation meets, you get the temperature. You get a contrast in temperatures, and when you get that contrast in temperatures, you wind up getting a condensation that can form a wall cloud. You get the rotating part of the thunderstorm, and that's what we're looking at here is what looks like to me a bit of the rotating part of the thunderstorm. This is a shelf cloud here for sure. So that's what's called your rear flank downdraft that's coming in on the backside and wrapping around. And then right in there is where you'd have your wall cloud. It does appear to be rotating a little bit at least. And I also see some what looks like magenta colors in there that might have perhaps maybe some that would show at least where there could be some hail at. So we're going to stay out of the hail. We're definitely not getting in the hail this afternoon, but I am watching these clouds. They're ominous looking. I'm actually about to be in a spot where I'm about right underneath it, so it's hard to tell, exactly what's going on with it. But a lot of this is probably some outflow wrapping around it, but you can see inflow right in that area. So with that said, we definitely have probably a wall cloud right in there. It's probably kind of wrapped in rain. I'm going to look at the radar real fast to see what it's showing here. Not a lot. There's a little rotation pretty close to where I'm at. I need to get to 81 so I can, I'm actually pretty close. There's definitely some rotation in here. So what I got to get close to Stoneburg. That's where I'm trying to get to now is Stoneburg. You can see these clouds are moving in my direction. So we're getting into what's called the rear flank downdraft, the RFD. So I'm going to turn around. There was a place where I could turn around back. I'm definitely not getting myself into the hail. So I'm going to turn around and get to a better spot. I think our wall cloud's probably right in there. So just give me a second here while I do this and make sure that no car's coming. So I'm going to turn around, but that's a pretty good vantage point. If we have a wall cloud, it's about right in that area there. You can see the inflow. It isn't a lot of inflow, but there's a little bit there, and then this is the outflow. So you got. If you watch me enough, you got the push and the pull, right? So the push is that cold air that's wrapping around on the backside of the thunderstorm, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm underneath the rear flank downdraft of the thunderstorm. You can see these are scud clouds, and a lot of times people get scared about those things there. But that's a scud cloud off in the distance, harmless. It's just low-level moisture. This at least from my vantage point where I'm at right now, this is definitely outflow dominant here. But I just think that I'm underneath the rear flank downdraft, and I've got to get a little bit more up ahead of it to be able to get into position to see if we have a wall cloud with this or not. I know whenever I was driving up here, we definitely looked like we might have one there, but it looks like since then the storm has produced what we call outflow winds, and the rear flank downdraft is wrapped around, and that's kind of where I'm at now. So I'm in cooler thunderstorm air. But if I get up here, I'm going to turn here. Yeah, I'm just peeking over at the radar. I really do not see rotation. It tried to rotate for a minute there, but it isn't rotating really now. But going back underneath the rear flank downdraft here. And I do not, at least as of right now, I do not see a wall cloud. Most of what I see there is just the dense, colder, dense thunderstorm air dropping down out of the storm, and it kind of creates a bit of what we call a roll or a shelf cloud. But if we're going to have a wall cloud, it'd be kind of right in that area. I'm going to see if I can get in position to be able to see it if we can get there. We're going to go right past Lake Bowie. Really needed to be on Highway 81 to really be able to get a good look at it. But like I've been saying here, I am definitely not a storm chaser. But I do understand weather, and this actually, what this does is it helps me understand. When I'm looking at a radar, it helps me get a better understanding. It's actually like education. It gives me a better understanding for what's going on in the storm. If I can visually see it, not only on radar, but also in person, it gives me a better idea of what's going on in the storm. So it helps me give you a better forecast. There's Lake Bowie. So I'm driving right past Lake Bowie. Pretty area over in here. And we're about to drive right back underneath the RFD again. And I want to make sure I stay out of the hail. I do not want to get in the hail, so I'm going to pull over here and kind of get my bearings again. Kind of see where we're at with all of this. And I got to get to a safe spot though. There's a low-hanging cloud there, but I know that I'm not in. I know that is we're in the cooler thunderstorm air, so I know there's no tornado threat where I'm at, which I don't think there's a big tornado threat anyway. But there might be. Like I said, there could be a low wind with some of these stronger supercells, but I definitely want to stay out of any hail threats. So I'm going to pull. This is a good place to pull over right here. Get my bearings, decide if I want to keep on going or if I want to head on back home. So if this is what we call if this is indeed what we call outflow dominant, then I'm definitely going to want to go back home. So I'm just looking at the radar. Give me just a second here. I definitely don't want to get into any hail, that's for sure. Yeah, this storm looks outflow dominant to me, and by outflow dominant I mean the winds are blowing out from the storm and they're not blowing in. So, in my opinion, that's probably keeping us from seeing anything in terms of tornadic activity with this. Probably seeing mostly outflows type stuff with it. Turn on back around. Plus, I don't want to get out of this area. Turn on back around. Plus, I don't want to get out of this area. I'm not showing up with this storm. It's headed up towards Nocona. At this point in time, I doubt I can catch up to it because that would be kind of focused more over in that way. And if you look, there's my radar there. There it is. But yeah, there's a little weak rotation showing up in this storm. There is some there. I'm not going to deny that. And it's kind of headed towards Nocona. We can kind of expand that out. There is some decent hail with the storm. Actually, looks like some more storms have fired up down towards Graham. Yeah, those storms would if they're not in an area that's been worked over, they could have a chance to be a little bit more severe as they head towards the Metroplex. Look at those big storms down towards Interstate 20. But yeah, most of these storms here are just hailers. And like I say, I did see what looked like maybe a little bit of a wall cloud for a minute there. And there is a little weak rotation showing up in it near Nocona, but overall it's nothing major. So to avoid, this guy's cows are out. That's not good. This guy's cow, and there's no cattle gap here either. So these guys, there's some cows running loose out here on the other side of just northwest of Bowie. There's some cows running out. So if you're missing some cows, there they are. All right, so what I think I'm going to do is, I think this storm hasn't gotten too far ahead of me anyways. I think I'm just going to turn on back around and go home and enjoy the rest of my Sunday off. So that's my plan. Austin is there in the station covering things, and if I need to get on Facebook Live or something, I will. So, but little excitement there for a minute, but looks like it's pretty much over now. So at least for my chase, so I'm going to head on back. I think to park the vehicle at the station.